A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Hello, Monday, and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It is Packers game day. Nothing else matters. And the kicker is in the house. What's up, kicker Mason Crosby?
What's up? Yeah, it's game day. So everything is right in the world. We got through a weekend. It is time to focus.
Yep.
Excited about this one. It's going to be a cold night out up there in Lambeau Field, and this Green Bay Packers team better be ready to roll. It's been a weird weekend again. I mean, after Halloween, Tommy said it before. We've talked about it. Like, things get weird, weird games, weird situations. So they have to be ready for everything up there in Green Bay.
Absolutely, and it's time to put our game face on, and it's like. The weird thing about this whole thing, and we'll get into this throughout the show, as Mike Jocko from Madison's going to join us at 12:20 and Ryan Wood at 1 o'clock, is the Packers win this game and they're the number 2 seed in the NFC. They lose it, they drop down to 7. It's like it's a pretty wide variety. That's how bunched up the top 7-8 teams in the NFC are right now, Mace.
Yeah, exactly. Would they wouldn't fall, like, would the Bears be ahead of them?
Yes, they would.
Gosh, That's gross. Like, yes, as of right now, if they win this game, they'd be playing the Bears, right, in that first round of the playoffs, which would be pretty exciting.
That would be.
How we love talking about, like, if it were to end today, what would happen?
Actually,
let's talk about it every week.
Mason, if they win this game, Philly would drop to 7. And so
Philly,
so then they'd host Philly.
Okay, I must have seen something else.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. I mean, yes, this NFC race is going to be tight to the finish. And these are those types of games where it's
that's not true. No, you were right. Never mind. Shut up, Mitch. It would be the Bears.
I thought I was looking at some false information again.
Right.
I've seen some things, like I thought the Eagles defense was better than they are, so I had to correct that. I just can't trust anything on the internet. I mean, we all know that, but I just feel like AI is just messing with my brain every single day. And so I just put together another ChatGPT plan for basketball practice tonight.
Ooh.
So, I use it, and I think it's manipulating me now. I think it's starting to really mess with my brain. But
but no, so the Packers could be anywhere from 2nd to 7th. Philly could be anywhere from, I don't know what they do at the tiebreaker with them and the Seahawks, but I think they would actually win it. So they'd be anywhere from 1 to 6. Based on the outcome. This is it's November 10th. Like, we've got a long way. We got 2 more months to go, but this is a pretty big game at the midway point, Mace.
It's tight. And you saw, like, the NFC West, you like kind of cream rising to the top there. You got Seattle and the Rams playing some really good football, but I mean, the Niners are going to be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing is the NFC North has 3 really solid teams, which is weird. The Bears, I mean, the Bears found a way to come back and win that game. Like, the New York Giants are that team, right? They play a lot of teams really tough. They had a 19-point lead over the Denver Broncos, and then they lost to that one. So,
and they win yesterday if Dart doesn't get hurt, right? Like, and I saw, did you see the breaking news, Tommy? Brian Dable, the head coach of the Giants, just got fired.
Oh, did they fire him?
It's like, how do you
now?
Like, how do you fire the guy when it's not his fault that his quarterback got a concussion?
Yeah. He had his team playing pretty well.
That's rough.
I mean, they've played some good ball. They just have not been able to finish it out and win games. And that is a product of some of the, having a quarterback that gets hurt and like different things like that. But I do believe this NFC race is going to come down to those final weeks. And it's a little daunting to think that the Packers are playing a lot of these NFC North opponents late in the year. It is going to a battle to the finish. That's why this game tonight is, in my mind, if I were playing, I would be like, it's just it's a Monday night game. It's the next one. We're going into it. but I'm not playing anymore. So I can be a little irrational and I can, or see it from a different perspective, because I'm just going to look at it and say, this is one of those important games. This is a hinge point. This is a measuring stick for this team against a really good opponent at home. And it's going to keep your hopes of getting a home playoff game in line, right? Because you let this one slip away. Now you are dependent on other teams. You have to keep winning. You have to get another team to lose, things like that. And you just don't want that to be the situation come December where you have 4 or 5 games left. And now you're like, all right, our positioning is kind of dependent on how some of these other games go. So this game tonight, so important. So many things kind of hinge on the success tonight.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250. What are your keys to the game? We could keep talking about the permutations of the standings, and I love this stuff because I love chaos and what could happen if this happens. But let's get into the game itself. The Philadelphia Eagles, flight delayed. They did get into Green Bay yesterday. Everybody's flights are delayed these days, it seems like. But the Eagles at the Packers. And as we go, if we look position by position, or you look at specific matchups, Mason Crosby, what are you looking at? What gets you most excited when you see that this matchup, and what specific one-on-ones are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think we talked about this with Mikey Henninger, Basement Brood, on Friday, and I had brought up Josh Jacobs, wanting the run game to get established. And I say that with a little bit of a grain of salt, where it's the run game needs to set up the play action long passing game. I think this is one of those teams in the Eagles where they're kind of a bend don't break. They don't give up a ton of points, but they have given up some yards. They're susceptible to running backs getting numbers on them. So I think Josh Jacobs' creative run game, maybe loading that box early, spreading them out, finding ways, though, to, off of that run game, get back into that play action timing stuff where it's Jordan sets back. I was watching some highlights of old Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, and it was funny because Nolan was just man, Jordy was like that, right?
And Jordy was like that.
But it was also Aaron, he would kind of reset his line of sight on some of those little half rollouts.
Okay.
And as soon as he would do that one set with his feet, I would go kick a ball in the net because I knew we were scoring a touchdown. It was I'd be watching. It'd be at the 40-yard, other 40.
Yeah.
And Aaron does that little half roll, sets his feet, and I'm all right, I'm going to be kicking an extra point in 10 seconds.
I love that.
I think this team needs to find some of those plays that they hang their hat on, where it's a play action, little half rollout. Just get Jordan Love, set your feet and let it fly.
Yeah.
Trust that it's going to be there. You've designed a good play. Don't overthink it. Whoever the play is drawn up for, go and send it. I just don't know if LaFleur is doing enough of that, right?
I hope so.
We're running plays where Jordan's looking around. He's all right, I'm going to find the open guy. Sometimes you just got to run a play and commit to it and go and kind of take what happens from it. So I think that run game with Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, where running plays where he's just timing and sending it.
And just to back up your stats, Philly is 19th in the league. They are giving up 120 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to interject about committing to that play, you want to see Jordan Love do, if they do that and it's not there, I think Jordan Love needs to get to the point where he overthrows that ball.
Yeah.
Where it's either giving
Just
your
go.
guy a chance or nobody. Don't underthrow. And we've seen that a little bit too much from him, where he still tries to fit it into triple coverage and an interception happens. And I know the wind was crazy last week with Carolina, but I want to see, I'm totally okay with that. And I love that concept of committing to that type of ball, but make sure it's your guy or no guy.
No, I totally agree. But I think it's what he gets in trouble with is they have that play. It's not there right whenever he wants it to be, or he doesn't see it open. And then he'll hold it for a sec, move around a little bit, but then still tries to almost go back to it. I mean, that's what happened in that play against Carolina, right?
Yeah.
It was he scrambled around a little bit, but then still tried to hit that deep ball.
Right.
It's at that moment, you've done too much. You
missed the window, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Some of those balls, those just have to be sent, or you have to move away from them and go somewhere else. So that's just, that's part of the progression. Jordan Love has made some great plays, but I think those timing routes. I saw it last night in that game with Aaron. Okay. I can't tell if he's more frustrated with himself at times or if he is I think he's mad at some of those those receivers.
Oh, really?
And you look back at Devontae, Jordy, James Jones, the guys he had. I was telling Nolan that as well. I'm like, they literally learned and studied Aaron more than anything else, right? It was just we need to know what he wants and how he's going to play the game so we can be a byproduct of his brain out there. Because the DK Metcalf one, that was a classic Aaron wanting him to press that thing deep in the end zone because they had too high coverage. They had the safety coming over the top.
Okay.
So he's wanting to press them deep, and he was going to throw that ball back shoulder.
Yeah.
Right away because he looked left, and then he just came back, and he realized, oh, my gosh, he didn't get deep enough, and then that ball was a little too far, almost got picked off. So it's some of that stuff where it's quarterback, receivers, be on the same page. I think Jordan Love could have a huge game tonight if that run game gets going because it will set up a lot for this offense. And again, don't be afraid to go score in bunches.
Yeah.
I think that's one too, right? I think there's a lot of frustration in Packer fandom where it's just it feels like we just toy with teams. Why keep it close? If there's something you can exploit, go at them nonstop over and over.
All right. On the counter to that though, Mason, when you're playing against a team like Carolina, like they did last year, where you're not going to get those deep shots, you have to stay consistent taking the 5 to 10 to 15 yarders. I also want to see them stay consistent doing that too. To your point, it's okay to take those shots, but I also think it's okay if they're giving you 10 yards of play on the passes, go get 10 yards of play. Make a 10 play drive, 12 play drive. You don't have to get impatient by taking the deep shot. If it's there, absolutely take it. But I think you have to also show some patience sometimes. And I think they almost have, we've talked about their identity where they don't really have that identity. I think they fight with themselves.
Yeah.
Do we want to go deep and take those shots? Do we want to manage the game and be cute? And it's and then they mid-drive, they almost contradict themselves sometimes.
Yeah. That interception by Jordan Love. It's why?
Yeah.
It's why did you need to take that shot? Just keep letting them give you 10, 15 yards. And you're going to have long sustained drives, but as long as you capitalize at the end, you're going to win that game. Right. Yeah. So I agree. I think it's you look at the data and it's we should be an explosive team. And how often does that get us in trouble? Right. Whenever we're we should be something. That's a good, or it should, it's and so you start forcing that and bad things happen. So be who you are. Take what they give you, and then you just nibble at those edges. If something's there, if someone cheats up, all right, now we're taking that downfield shot, but don't do it unless they give it to you.
Q writes in on YouTube. He says, "Happy game day, MCS crew." That's Mason Crosby show.
Heck yeah.
Wondering what odds you would need to be to the Packers to win today. And I wanted to share that with you specifically, Mason, because our friends at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, all last week, the Packers opened as 3-point favorites. We picked it at 2.5, I believe.
Yeah.
The Eagles are now favored by half a point.
Wow.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 3-point swing without an injury.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any injuries.
What do you think's happened? Yeah.
Did anything happen over the weekend in the world of the NFL to lead you to believe that Philly should switch this spread so significantly on the Packers? Because I'm not. Frankly,
you think it was a Colts game? Is it some weather? They're looking at kind of how the conditions are, and it's okay, does this favor the Eagles just a little bit more?
I think they think that the weather that the Philly is more because of Saquon and the big horses on the O-line, that Philly is more attuned to playing a cold weather game, and it's going to be cold and windy in Green Bay tonight.
Yeah, I think that could be it, and then you go into, obviously Waylon's been punting the ball well, but some questions about the kicking stuff there in tough conditions and in bad weather. I have no doubt, and like I'm going to be positive in this. Like I think McManus he's due for a really good game. He can bounce back here.
I love your positivity,
Mace. And again, I told you last year. I was looking at the data. It was the same day, like pretty much the same day as the Carolina game of last year, where it was windy, weather had turned. It was literally Brandon's first time kicking in those types of conditions in Lambeau Field, and it takes some learning. Like I had the opportunity to learn through some of those moments and figured it out, quite a bit. But sometimes you got to kind of go through those bumps. But if he's healthy, if he's good, I think tonight, if the weather's not crazy, if it's cold but not crazy windy, he should be able to have a solid game and just move the ball, get in manageable situations, kicking mid-range field goals, and everything should be all right for the Green Bay Packers.
Was it that the New Orleans Saints kind of manhandled the Panthers, and that's
so they're like, the Packers aren't actually?
I know that
was shocking.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
because I've been
0 for all my solo picks since Yannick Sinner. I think the Yannick Sinner pick really cursed my season.
You had a good bounce back, though. You had a good bounce back week.
I had a good week, but yes, like Yannick Sinner, I think ruined my solo picks for the rest of my life.
I just wonder if that weighed into anything on the betting odds, because I agree with Mitch. That was a huge shift that we just saw this morning, and it's going to take. I mean, all of us had Philly, so it looks like we got it at a really good number compared to what everyone else did, but a lot of the betting odds going towards Philadelphia.
30 degrees at 7 p.m. And that it's going to be like high 20s, winds constantly between 7 and 10 miles an hour, but gusts up to 20.
Yeah. So that's going to be rough. That's going to be tough. Honestly, the nights like that, I always hoped it would snow a little bit.
Oh, the snow.
Because you can see the wind too.
That's smart.
Yeah. There were games where I'm like, gosh, it's cold, it's windy. It's hard to tell because you're almost so cold and you're wearing more clothes.
Yep.
So you can't feel it as much. If I could have like just a little dusting of snow, then you just kind of pick up those wind patterns a little bit, just a little insider stuff.
Well, and that's fun. And we've got Jocko coming up next, and we'll tell you how much more comfortable the Badger game got Saturday when it switched from rain to snow.
Yeah,
because like the first half was drizzling and it was miserable, and then the second half was snow, and it was like it might have been a couple degrees colder, but it felt way better because it's just a different type of precipitation. Exactly,
it does. It's weird how that happens.
All right, well, let's get to Jocko because Jocko obviously covers the Packers. I'm guessing he's going to be there tonight. He can also tell us what we saw. I was at that game as well, as you guys know. On Saturday, the Badgers won a football game. So we're going to talk that.
They're really good.
Yeah,
really good.
They are now really good. It's true. We're going to get back to the Packers at 1:00. Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, will join us then. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. When you're the best college football team in the nation, you get your theme song play. Well, not their theme, but
Fickle forever.
That's right. That's right. Oh. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. I'm Mitch Ellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz in the house, and the Badgers with a 13-10 hard-fought victory in the snow Saturday night at Camp Randall, where I was sitting first
You were there,
row
front row
in the end zone, baby.
Love it.
With some sweets and some food and some of this guy who I ran into at halftime. He is our very good friend, Mr. Mike Jocko, sports director from WMTV NBC 15 in Madison. Jocko, how you doing, brother?
You guys, I just got back from State Street. I've been at State Street since Saturday night.
Smart.
We grabbed the goalpost, baby. We went down State Street. We hit Parthenon Euros like 3 times. It's been amazing. State Street Brats, not the same anymore, because we partied all night there. Oh my God. It has been great. I have not slept since Saturday night. So
you deserve it. You deserve it. That's awesome.
Oh my God. It was great to see you. I stuck my way inside of that, Thunder, you're living in the lap of luxury down there.
I was.
I mean, they had everything you can imagine to eat, and of course, I imagined everything and ate all of it.
Same.
Obviously. It was great. They had some these fish taco things that you could make, but I just grabbed the fish and put them in my pocket. They were like hand warmers.
It was fried.
I did eat those later on State Street. I was getting a little, I was getting the munchies. I had some
little pocket fish. I love that.
Oh my God! Yeah, forget the pancakes. I'm eating pocket fish.
I love that. That's so good.
Pocket cod.
So did they just set up like a field suite for y'all? Was it just kind of they just put like a little box around and just said hey, we're just gonna open up the world for you. Anything you want.
Me and Mitch.
Yeah,
it was just me and Mitch down there.
Nice.
We were like that. They were geisha girls. Doing bringing us food and stuff like that. It was amazing. I've never been treated like that. I could tell there was something special in the air because of that. I'm like, what happens if the Badgers win too? I mean, probably the greatest victory I've ever been a part of was Saturday. I've covered Super Bowls, Rose Bowls, all that stuff, but Saturday was the greatest game of all time.
That's awesome.
He's not wrong.
It was, yeah. I mean, you could feel it. You could kind of feel it building. That defense played awesome. The whole game. Young quarterback comes in and didn't complete a pass for 3 quarters. Right. I mean, that was crazy. And yeah, so it was awesome to see something that was a little discouraging. And I get the student body and the fans are kind of trying to speak, but it looked like the attendance was pretty low. Was that just something I saw on TV, or was it all right?
I thought there were, I thought there were more people there than I thought were going to show up, because we talked, our weather people were talking about doom and gloom all week, and God bless them. But it was going to be raining the whole time. I mean, from the afternoon side, it may have scared some people away. Obviously, the play on the field has scared some people away.
Yep.
But I thought the student section was lower than normal. Yes. But you know what? Those people, I looked up there after jump around, and usually that kind of, no matter what's going on as far as the program goes, a lot of people leave. To their credit, the students, they stuck around the whole game.
They did.
And
they stayed.
They got what they deserved. It was great.
It was awesome. Yeah. And what I will say about storming the field, which I didn't find that, I'll be honest, I don't think this was a storming the field. This was a communal celebration of joy. And it happened to be on the field, but it was just a pure happiness. The game ended and I looked around and all of a sudden I saw a couple kids start running on the field. I was like, what's going on? The security set up, they gave Washington a path to walk off. But it wasn't a storming where it's you beat number one. It was just hey, let's all go out on the field and just hang out and have a good time together.
There was no storm. It was a slight miss. There was no storm as far as a storm in the field. But as far as
it was a fog over the field.
It just felt good. It just it was nice to go into that post game press conference with Luke Fickell where like we were, the press is cracking jokes and he comes in and he's got a smile on his face. I haven't seen that dude smile in a long, long time. Even the first couple of victories of the year, your quarterback gets hurt in the first game, and then the second game he beat Middle Tennessee State, and whatever, it's fine. But to have him come in, and you could just tell this huge gorilla was basically lifted off his back. Saturday night just felt good for everybody, and that comes with the misting of the field instead of storming. It was a nice celebration of after 6 weeks of and maybe a couple of years of just doom and gloom.
Well, I can't wait for this weekend when they go and beat Indiana.
It's going to be amazing.
It's just it's amazing. Like, they're going to go back to back. Get out there to Indiana and go storm that field after this big old upset coming this weekend.
I will party on State Street on Saturday night with all the kids, if that actually does.
If that happens.
If that happens, I'm heading down to Parthenon. I'll just go to Parthenon Euros and hang out. But you just never know. But there's something in the air. I mean, the way that, their freshman linebackers played, Cooper Catalano and Mason Posa, those guys dominated on the defensive side of the ball. And
every play, Jocko. Every play, those were the two names being called out. It was amazing.
It was just fun to watch, and like I said, it's been so long to have something like that happen. I think it was 2021 since they beat an unranked or beat a ranked team, and it just felt good. It felt like Wisconsin football on Saturday night at the camp, and hopefully, with that, there's some good things ahead.
Yeah, that can't hurt in the recruiting department. You say, okay, we're going to stick with Fickell. We're rolling with him for at least another year. You go out and you win a game that week, and then it's like, okay, maybe they're going to just pop some eyes and get some of these recruits that they were eyeballing to sign up and say, all right, like, next year's a winnable season. Let's go out there and let's get this thing done. And like you said, I think it's good to see. And I think giving Fickell and reassuring that he's going to be there allowed him to then release some of these young players and just say, like, hey, we're going to play some of these young guys. You're going to see what we have in store. And right. I think for the fan base, that had to be nothing but a positive.
Yeah. And I like Luke Fickell a lot. I also, I know that winning at Indiana is certainly a tall task to ask of this team now, but you looked ahead at the schedule earlier in the year, and it was like, well, who knows? Maybe you beat Illinois, maybe and maybe you beat Minnesota. But now, how cool it would be back to back to beat Brett Bielema and then to go beat PJ Fleck at his house. It would be if you're feeling good about I'm jumping ahead, but now there's a
slow your roll, bro.
Slow your roll. I know, but I'm excited. I told you I haven't slept since Saturday, and I gotta go play wide receiver for the Packers tonight. So it's I am busy, you guys. Busy
I
man.
love it. Hey, Tommy, I am curious how you're feeling after Saturday night. We haven't really talked about it. Where are you at?
Here comes Debbie Downer now.
Yeah, Jocko knows. Jocko knows.
I made the decision in about the second quarter that I was like, you know what? Let's win this one. I think I had turned it over, and here's the problem is now you have the number one priority for this team has to make sure that those two linebackers don't leave for the portal. Right. That's the number one priority of this team, Jocko. I don't know. Those guys need to stay. Mason Posa needs to stay. And if they don't retain either, if they don't retain either of those two, back at square one in my mind.
Right. And here's the thing, this week we learned that, that UW is now all in.
Now all in. Yes. Now they weren't all in for 3 years. Waiting.
Oh, is this a thing? Is this going to stick around? It's like, hey, the internet might hang out for a while. That may be a thing, the whole WWW thing. But UW has finally got on board as far as helping out with this program. And here's your first test. To keep Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano. These are your guys. These are the guys. No matter what you think about, how much these guys are getting paid nowadays. Well, here's your test. Here's your two guys that you need to, whatever they got coming in and whatever they're supposed to get. here's UW's chance to shine now and give Luke Fickell a chance and keep Chris McIntosh happy. And like we'll see where this goes. But those are the two guys that maybe get the first fruits of the labor of Luke Fickell and Chris McIntosh talking to the UW and making this thing work.
We got Mike Jocko Jocks on the Mason Crosby's show. He's the sports director there at WMTV in Madison. Just talking Badgers. We'll probably. I got to go to this game tonight a little bit.
For sure.
I mean, you said you're playing, so that makes me curious.
I don't know if Coach wants me to talk, to the media before the game. But
man, is this like breaking news on the Mason Crosby show? I love it.
Yes. No receivers. Here comes Big Fat Jocko to save the day.
I saw you on that softball diamond. You got some skills. I mean, the hand-eye coordination's there. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this game tonight. And we were curious what your thoughts were on the betting lines flip-flopping. So all week we picked the game on Thursday. It was -2.5 for the Packers. Now it looks like Potawatomi and like the betting lines have shifted to the Eagles. Like, what do you think could have caused that? Over the weekend, was it games, how things looked, what went on that could have shifted that mindset for the bettors?
And I think maybe that does happen. It's certainly not me playing wide receiver that shifted any line. That'd be the line.
Well, now, the breaking news is that
maybe those change again. But I think a lot has to do with when the injury reports keep coming out and the Packers are wondering who's going to play wide receiver and just the way this week has gone as far as other games go. I'm just really surprised that it has gone, usually, what is it, 3 points that you get for just playing at home.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a dogfight. It's just going to be a great game. Sometimes with Vegas, you just never know how those things change, and Potawatomi as well. But I'm a little bit shocked as far as that goes, but I guess we'll have to see. I expect Josh Jacobs to have the game of his life, and maybe they will be focusing on him as far as with the Packers having no receivers. But I just feel like we've been kind of waiting for that big game to happen, and here's the chance to really shine. Like it's going to be cold out there. It's not going to be brutally cold, but I think this is the chance for Josh Jacobs to step up and really show the dominant player that he is.
That's what we keep saying here on the Mason Crosby show this is the type of game where you feed Josh Jacobs, you get that running game going, and then you open it up with the down the field timing, play action passes. If that's not there, like just take what this Eagles team gives you. And I think if you get in a little scrappy battle, it can play to the Packers' favor. But again, we are facing this Philadelphia Eagles team that will just kind of grind it out. They're going to run the ball. They don't mind, playing a quick game where it's just like the clock's always running, tush push as much as possible, which I'm always excited about the tush push because the Packers apparently were the ones that put it out there to ban it. So anytime these teams come, and play each other, that first tush push is always controversial.
It's a bastardization of the football game.
Exactly.
Yes. And I think they will probably put an extra push in the tush just because it is the Packers. I thought Matt LaFleur said something really interesting at the game, like against the Carolina game, as far as Jordan Love. He kind of, I feel he was calling Jordan Love out by not taking advantage of what Carolina was giving them as far as, playing a soft zone. And, I think a week later that Jordan Love learns from that and comes back. And like you said, Mason, whatever they give the Eagles defense, the Packers have to take advantage of. So for that to happen, I think that last week was a learning experience, and then Jordan Love takes that and really uses that this week against a really good Eagles defense.
Yeah, I'm looking at Packer injury report. There were 17 guys.
Yeah, I'm nervous about Golden.
There are only 4 that are questionable, other than the Van Ness and the Hobbs that are out. There are only 4 questionable. Matthew Golden, Zach Tom, Dontavian Wicks, and Savion Williams are all questionable, which is interesting. I didn't know Savion Williams was dealing with something. Obviously, Matthew Golden is probably the big question mark there. If Matthew Golden can't go tonight, I mean, and Dontavian Wicks and Savion Williams somehow aren't on the field, I mean, who is there? Like, who are the wide receivers then? I mean, you're going Malik Heath, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. I mean, like, I still feel pretty good about that. If you got Dobbs and Watson on the field, I feel like we're still doing all right.
That's solid. That's still solid. I feel like that. I feel like that's fine. That's why I feel like, like as much as they'll be kind of focusing on Josh Jacobs in the running game, I feel like you need to make an impact here. But like you said, those guys are fine. I mean, that's Jordan Love has done great things with a cast that isn't the top of the heap. So I feel good about this game tonight.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Positive.
Well, we all picked
Jocko.
the Eagles to cover, I think the other two guys picked the Eagles to win this game. I picked the Packers to win, but the Eagles to cover that 2.5 when we picked it.
I think it's going to go down to the wire. I feel I'm not letting it sound like this is breaking news or anything like that, but I feel like it's going to go down the wire. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a great football game tonight.
Everything lines up for that to be the case, and that's why we're all watching. We're all going to enjoy it. Jocko, great seeing you Saturday night. What a win. Hopefully we get another one tonight.
Keep this thing going, baby.
That's right. Let's go. Let's get back out to State Street for a few more days of
I'll see all you guys at State Street.
You sure will. Mike Jocko, sports director, NBC WMTV 15 in Madison. Jocko, thanks so much for joining us today.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Jocko.
Jocko joining us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. The most positive guy in the business, right?
I know. That's why I had to bring Tommy in. But Tommy, kept it
Tommy kept
positive.
It
real.
Look, now, like, put up or shut up with it. That's all I'm saying about the Badgers. If you're going to say, hey, we're all in on this program now, and Mason Posa is not a Badger next year, I'm out. I'm out again. Like, that's the point.
Mason,
that's a good point.
Did you see the point spread for Saturday?
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah, it's like, what, 30 and a half? 30 and a half? Yeah. I mean, I'm taking the Badgers to cover that all day. All day.
Man,
I'm all in on them again.
Yeah.
That was Indiana's hiccup game over the weekend.
And that was Wisconsin's Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that feels like totally not going to happen.
He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunders. Tonight must win for the Packers. We will simply answer with a yes or a no. But you can answer as well on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You may also have the permission to mock the concept of a must win if you want to do that as well. Ryan Wood, the Green Bay Press Gazette, will join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We're in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here as well, rocking the G, carrying the G, if you will, today for all of us as well. He should be here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Mace, our thanks again to Jocko for jumping on. We got a bunch of calls to get to, so I don't know. You want to jump right up to the phone lines?
Yeah, let's jump on those phone lines. Right. I have a funny story about my car being repaired that I'll tell you all about whenever I get a chance.
Nice. Let's start with Ralph in Glendale. Ralph, you are on the Mason Crosby Show. What's up, my man?
Hey, Mitch, my friend. Good to hear your voice again. I'm excited about the station here. I listen to you guys all the time now. You know, I'm the Mr. Nicolay guy, right?
I know who you are, Ralph. You keep it up. You keep up the good work.
But the thing is now with Whitefish Bay, my high school that I graduated from is in level 4. I might be rooting for this weekend in football. I'll be going to the game for sure.
Well, we won state in soccer on Saturday night, and now Friday night, one more win to get to state in football as an 8th seed. It's been a Cinderella run for the Blue Dukes, that's for sure.
Can I ask you one question? Do they have a site yet picked out for that game?
They're playing at Madison La Follette because it's against Reedsburg, who's on the other side of the Dells. Right. So they picked they picked a halfway site. So that'll be in Madison La Follette. So it's
funny because my wife's family's from Reedsburg, so this is kind of
you battle. Let them know. Yeah. You let them know, Ralph.
I'm a Blue Duke.
That's right.
So,
what do you got? Hey,
is
tonight a must-win? Yes or no for the Packers?
It is, yes, a must-win. They're going to win 34-30, and the Packers win, and I win the football pool. So life is good.
Let's go, Ralph. Perfect. I love it. Don't be a stranger. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
I'll be calling you. Bye-bye.
Sounds great. Joining us next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, that's 414-677-1250, where we had a good question for Mason about kicking in weather, which I always think we'll get to that in the next hour. But let's go out to Tony in Texas, where I'm guessing the weather's a little cool, a little nicer. A little warmer than it is here. Tony, what do you got for us?
We're going to Mason can relate to this. Mason, it got under 40. They're going to shut the city down.
It's over. It's over. I know. I usually look at Texas weather to know what's coming into Tennessee. Like my brother tells me it gets cold in Dallas, and it usually hits about a day later here in Nashville.
Right. Hey, so Brian Dable got fired. He had a terrible weekend. I got a question for you guys, Mitch. You can chime in here too. Who had the worst weekend out of these 4? Washington Husky football, Buffalo Bills, your Aaron Rodgers, and your Marquette basketball team. Who had the worst weekend?
Oh, gosh.
That's a horrible weekend for all 4 of those.
That's right. I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills had the worst weekend of those 4. Losing to the Dolphins, that was bad. They just look off right now. I know their defense is kind of a mess, but their offense shouldn't be, and it's also a mess. So.
Any given Sunday, though, you know, because it's so weird. The NFL is weird, man. It's just like anyone can beat anyone. You see the Cardinals just got pounded yesterday by the Seahawks, and the week before they looked good against the Cowboys.
And the Panthers lost to the Saints.
And the Packers lose to the Browns.
Steelers beat the Colts last week and then just get dismantled by the Chargers. Yeah,
there's no rhyme or reason.
Anyone that has figured this out, I want to be friends with them and just go to Vegas and go on a heater like in
if they can figure it out,
too, like in Back to the Future 2, you know, when Biff goes back in the time machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tony, is tonight a must-win?
Oh yeah. They got to win. If they don't win this one, I tell you what, they're not going to make the playoffs. If they lose this one.
Whoa, I'm gonna call it right now. You got that? Write that down. Yeah, Tony said if they don't win tonight, they're not making the playoffs.
They got so many divisional games. You got the Bears are playing better. You got the Vikings on the road. You got the Lions. I mean, the Broncos on the road. These are Giants on the road. It's going to be a tough game with Dable getting fired. These are going to be tough games.
That's a good point.
Yeah. No, I somewhat agree with you there. I think it's and we said this, like this is that hinge point where if they do not win this game, it is going to be a tough
tiebreakers,
task.
Man. Yeah. Tiebreakers. And it's just for their psyche, they got to win it. Hey, Mason, really quick, how do you pick your cleats when you're playing at Lambeau in the cold weather, weird weather? I always wondered about that. Who decides that? The player or the coach or what?
Oh, definitely the player. Yeah. I mean, I think we've had meetings back in the day where our grounds crew, like superintendent, would come in and talk about the field surface to give guys like kind of a heads up of how it's going to play, how it's going to feel. But guys had superstitions. Some guys would wear molded cleats until they fell on their face and they have to go switch to 7 studs. But for me, it was always game day. I'd go out there, I'd walk around, feel the surface, go kick in something. But I wore a football cleat on my left foot, soccer shoe on my right, so I could always mess with that plant foot as much as I needed to, depending on how the surface. I would guess with the upper 20s game this time of year, the field's going to probably have a little moisture on it.
Yep.
I'd probably start warming up with a molded, but maybe go to a really short 7 stud if my foot was slipping a little bit.
All right, Tony, thanks for the call. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. You can text in. You can give us a call as well. Mason, it sounds like some of the fans think this is must win. As a player, did you believe in must win if it wasn't truly an elimination game? Or you understand the importance of it, but is it must win?
No, I think you understand the hype and you know what these games mean, but it's not like we're just like dumb and it's just like I don't even know like what we're playing for. But until it is the playoffs, until you literally are going to be knocked out, you are just preparing against the opponent, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's all that matters. This is the next game against a really good team. You know what's at stake, but it is not an elimination game. You have to go out there and cut it loose.
All right. In the second hour of the program, Ryan Wood from the Green Bay Press-Gazette is going to join us to continue previewing this huge matchup tonight at Lambeau. We will find out what's going on with Mason's car repair situation. And he did not buy his wife a new car yet.
Not happening. No.
Yet. She'll pick out her own car if she wants.
She told me she's just like, I have to pick it out. I have to pick anything out that you want to buy for me.
Exactly. Thanks to Jocko for joining us in the first hour. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nelson. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
And Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Yeah, boy, it is hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Our studio is powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Real quick, shout out UW Green Bay men with a win this afternoon over Ripon, 83-63. Doug Gottlieb gets his first win of the year. Does it really count if it's over Ripon? I'm not sure.
Does that count?
No.
Rippon's D3.
Are they going to be better this year though? Is UWGB going to?
They got 4 wins to go, and then they're better.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
They got 4 last year.
Let's see what Green Bay Press Gazette's own Ryan Wood thinks. He's joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. What's up, Mr. Wood? How are you?
Doing well, guys. Happy game day. How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. We've been asking everybody today as we kind of hit off the show, and so I'm just going to throw it to you right away. Is tonight a must-win for this Packers team?
I don't know if there's anything so-called as a must-win in November, but this is a really big game. It's one of those that it feels like a big game and also is a big game. Like, those are two different things, right? It feels like a big game because it's the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a big matchup. It's a team that knocked you out of last year's playoffs. So it has that feel. And then both tangibly and intangibly, it really is a big game. For intangibly, the one thing through all the ups and downs that this Packers team can hang their hat on this season as evidence that they are not last year's team, that they have taken a step ahead, which is what this young core, the edict that they were charged with doing, is that this is a team, unlike last year, that can beat anybody, right? They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers at night in Pittsburgh. They beat the Lions, stomped them week 1. And so if you lose this game, that's a bit of a dent to that self-confidence, that self-belief of, oh, maybe we can't beat this is nighttime at home against a good opponent. You should win this game. And then the tangible side, when you doesn't it just feel like there's a big difference between 6-2-1 and 5-3-1? Like, 5-3-1, you're a second away from being 5-4, right?
Yeah.
In Dallas.
Yep.
You're muddling around.
It feels like 500, right, Ryan?
Play.
Ryan, it feels like 500, right?
Yeah. You're muddling around at 5-3-1. 6-2-1 puts you in play. Like, you're still among the elites record-wise in the NFC. So it swings so dramatically between those two. I think all the elements are there that this is a very big game. That said, I don't necessarily buy the must-win in November.
Yeah, Ryan, I think that's fair. I think must-win is only whenever it's a knockout game, obviously.
Right.
Come those situations where you literally have to win or you go home, whether it be into the regular season, you're trying to make the playoffs, or you're already in those playoffs. So I love how you said that. I do think that this game, and like you said, 6-2-1 and kind of controlling your destiny moving forward is a lot better than all of a sudden now you just brought that whole NFC North right to your doorstep, and you have to play all those teams down the stretch here, and that is going to you don't want to get in a situation where now you're playing these teams to get you to that point that you want to get to. Like, if you have a cushion, you have this space, you are the hunted all the time. That's a better spot to be come late December. Would you agree with that?
Yep. Plus 5-3-1, borderline 500. That's a point where you can look at the scope of this season to date and say this team's playing below its talent level. Like definitively, this is not a borderline 500 talent level team. This team is built and constructed and has the talent to be one of the best teams in the entire NFL, not just the NFC. At 6-2-1, that feels like that kind of team. You're 5-3-1. You're playing below your talent level. There's a whole host of things that come into play the second half of the season if you're behind the sticks like that, right? You're off schedule. So yeah. I think that this is a game where you need to come out and you need to assert who you are, who you're built to be. And if you don't do that, that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I think, what do you think about the betting odds shifting to being in the Eagles, plus 0.5 to win this game now whenever they started. And we made our picks on Thursday, and the Packers were favored by 2.5. So what do you think made that shift over the weekend?
I was a little surprised that they opened to 2.5-point favorites at home a week after losing to the Carolina Panthers, who just got smoked against the New Orleans Saints on yesterday. Right. Yeah. I was surprised to begin with. So I guess I'm not surprised that the odds are shifting toward the Eagles. With that said, I think that that's more of an indictment of how they've played than who they are. I mean, when you've got Jordan Love and Micah Parsons, and you've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball around them, this team can and should be a favorite against anyone. They haven't played that way. And so as Vegas goes, especially, right. And we know that Vegas odds are designed to entice the bet. You know, it's not just a reflection of a team, but it's also, this is who they've shown themselves to be a week ago.
We got Ryan Wood joining the Mason Crosby show as he does every week. You can find him at Ryan Wood on X or at the Green Bay Press Gazette and get all his information about this Packers team. Have you been out there? Have you watched any of the practice this week? Through conversations, things like that? What is your feel of the strategy or how they're going to approach this game? Let's just start on the offensive side of the ball. Like, what do you think they're going to come out doing to try to combat this Eagles defense?
Well, I think what the Eagles defense is going to come out doing is what every defense from week in and week out is designed to do against this Packers offense, and that's most likely the two soft shell safety playing deep, trying to eliminate the explosive plays and making the Packers offense really work for what they get and be disciplined, be consistent, and finish drives, which of course was the Achilles heel last week against the Panthers. They didn't punt one time all game and scored 13 points. They were 1-5 in the red zone. Like, if you're defensively going against an offense that just showed that against a defense that had to play one way and played one way and had that kind of success, that's what it's going to look like. So can the Packers finish drives? Can they get into the red zone and finish in the end zone? Those are the questions, not just tonight, but going forward. And it takes not self-inflicted penalties, self-inflicted errors. It takes being on schedule, down in distance, and we'll see if they can do that. I don't know. I haven't seen it consistently enough to say that they can, but that's what they need to do.
Yeah, they got to run the ball with Josh Jacobs, and then to beat that high two shell, you got to load zones up. Like, if they're playing zone defense, you got to put 3 receivers in those zones and make the corner and the safety decide where they're going to move to, right? So I felt like against Carolina, they didn't do a great job of loading up the zones and like making those DBs choose where they were going to cover. It was just kind of like, all right, we had our route trees, we're going to do that. And then if it's not there, we'll take a shot or we'll just dump it down underneath. Like, it just didn't feel like the route trees were built to beat that zone. And almost, again, like LaFleur, like they were surprised from an offensive game plan that Carolina was going to play that way against them at times in that game. Even though they did move the ball at times in that game, it just felt like they weren't able to break that down. So I hope they have a great plan. I think they can get after this Eagles defense in different ways. But like you said, they got to punch it in at the end. So what do you think this defense needs to do in order to stop this Eagles offensive attack?
Boy, wouldn't it be nice if they just had a couple takeaways, right? If they actually translated their pass rush to removing the football. It just hasn't happened consistently enough. So I until we see that, I'm always going to start there. This is a defense that badly needs more takeaways. And Jeff Hafley's right. He said this week that a year ago they played pretty good defense, but they relied a lot on the takeaway, which masked a lot of things. It's the great eraser in this game defensively, and that they played really good defense without the takeaways this season, and that's a lot harder to do. But imagine how much better they'd be if they could just take away the football. If they didn't have 5 takeaways on the season, like that, it starts there. How do you defend Saquon Barkley? Because just like the Eagles are going to see the Packers offense, inability to finish drives, inability to be consistent up and down the field, the Eagles offense is going to see, okay, Rico Dowdle just ran all over this Packers defense last week, and now Saquon Barkley is on our side, right? That it's going to be a heavy Saquon Barkley attack, and over the last couple of weeks, the Eagles have really rededicated themselves to Saquon Barkley being the foundation of their offense, just as he was last year. How does this Packers defense defend the run? So that's going to be critical in this game.
Ryan Wood joining us on the Mason Crosby show from the Green Bay Press Gazette. He's on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. My question, and this isn't for Saquon Barkley because obviously he's one of the best running backs in the league. Why haven't Quay and Edge found a way to just destroy? Like, we were so excited about their speed and athleticism coming into the season, and I think we just envisioned them like filling in all those holes and just like, from game to game, having amazing collisions with running backs and crushing them back. Why haven't we seen that from those two guys, especially the way we thought we would in the preseason?
Yeah, I look at it more from a standpoint of the pass rush and using or not using the linebackers as much as expected there, because both of these guys, Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper, are built to be terrific off-ball pass rushers and blitzers. And I do think that you saw a fundamental shift in this defense as soon as Micah Parsons walked through the door. That what did Matt LaFleur say a year ago was the blueprint for this defense. He wanted to rush with 4 and drop 7 in coverage. And now you have Micah Parsons. You can rush with 4 at a very high level, and you just haven't seen near as much as I expected Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper factoring in to the blitz scheme for Jeff Hafley. Does that need to happen more? I thought one of the signature plays that it's easy to forget because of how it went, but one of the signature plays last week was the one sack that they got was Xavier McKinney blitzing, right? It was a creative scheme. And, of course, it was a forced fumble, and Chuba Hubbard recovered it, got 6 yards on the play. But mixing in other players at opportune times is a really good strategy. Just because you have Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, in this front 4 doesn't mean that you have to rely on them solely. So the more they can do that, I think the more they're going to keep offenses off balance. As far as the run game goes, I'll be very curious how Colby Wooden looks tonight with returning from that shoulder. I do think that there was a significant absence without him doing the dirty work, keeping blockers off of those linebackers in the run game. If he's back, does that free up a lot more space for Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper to shoot the gaps and be more aggressive, not have as many bodies on him? Maybe. So I think that it really starts there. He's played at a very high level, Colby Wooden, on the interior. Getting him back, I think, is going to be very important. Yeah,
it's so interesting. I mean, you brought up the point of what they had to do last year, where it's like, oh, man, we were frustrated. They couldn't get home with 4, so you had to bring blitzes, but they were getting turnovers at a high rate. So I think that, leaning in, okay, yeah, you have Micah Parsons, you have all that, but, like, let's get creative again. Let's bring extra guys. Let's bring Quay Walker. He is so good at rushing the passer, and it helps in the run game as well. Like that is like you blitz against the run first, and then you go and you sack the quarterback if it turns into a pass play. So I think Hafley, maybe rested a little bit on the fact that, all right, we got Micah Parsons. We can go into this shell type defense, let those guys do their work, and try not to give up big plays. But maybe the dynamic side of this defense is taking a shot. So I love how you kind of address that in the way that you did. I got to ask about some injuries. I got to ask about Matthew Golden being on this injury report as questionable. 3 wide receivers as questionable this week. What do you think the odds are that Matthew's going to play? And if he doesn't, if all 3 of those receivers don't play, what do you think this offense does with that?
I'm kind of leaning toward expecting him to play, but we'll have to see. Obviously, was in and out of practice this week. I think Dontavian Wicks, I feel the same way. I think that I'm leaning toward him playing, but it's going to be a very interesting and active report 90 minutes before kickoff. I'm very curious because this is not the time to be losing receivers a week after you lost Tucker Kraft for the season. This is an all hands, literally, on deck type of situation. So that's going to be important. You got to have those guys available. I expect that they will, but we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, Again, I think with Christian Watson, having some games under his belt, you got Romeo Doubs still out there. If Malik Heath gets a heavy load, like, you're going to be okay. Obviously, we hope Musgraves can step up and fill at least some of the shoes of Tucker Kraft. But yeah, I mean, the more guys you have, and I think that's the product of good teams, though, right? Is like, I think we look at Matthew Golden, and a lot of people are like, get him more targets, do all this. It's like the beauty of drafting a guy in the first round and not having to lean on him means that you're a better team than the teams that draft these guys like Carolina and different teams where it's like that guy has to step in and be a key factor. Like it is a benefit to be able to not have to lean on Matthew Golden in some of these critical moments. What do you think of that?
It's also a benefit, maybe the biggest reason that the Tucker Kraft injury doesn't have to be a season killer is because this offense is not built around one guy in the passing game. Even Tucker Kraft, through his rise, this offense was never built on Tucker Kraft the way that years past you saw it built on Devontae Adams or built on Jordy Nelson. Or it was very spread the ball out because there are so many other options. And so you need those other options because then if you're losing guys, it starts to dwindle your opportunities to spread the ball out, and then it only accentuates the absence of Tucker Kraft.
Do you think these games, like against the Eagles and Sirianni and it's like LaFleur, do you think LaFleur looks at these games differently whenever it's like a young coach that's had success, just trying to kind of be a measuring stick for what he's doing in Green Bay? Do you look at that? Do you think LaFleur looks at it that way at all?
At all, I don't know how you can't at all look at it that way. It's not like he's focused on, this is a measuring stick, right? I mean, he's focused on what are the best plays to beat certain defensive looks the Eagles are going to throw at him, right? And what are the right decisions to make in big moments during the game? Like that's going to be the primary focus. But especially after the game, depending on how you play against an opponent like this, especially at night at home. Yeah, I think it does give a barometer to everyone, including people inside 1265 Lombardi, where this team is as it gets to be mid-November, where this team is, where it's supposed to be, where they expect to be. There is some of that because you know that the Eagles are going to be one of those teams that you have to contend with later in the year. It might even be a playoff game that you have to contend with. I asked Micah Parsons this week, what is the significance of a November matchup against a team that you know very well you might play again in January? And he said it's a respect thing. Like it absolutely, it shows them kind of where they are, shows the Eagles where they are. This conference, especially this year, is a lot of teams at the top jostling for position. These are two of them. So when you share a field, it's going to be a little nugget that put in the back of your mind in case that comes up. Another matchup, a rematch later in the year, that this is what happened, this is what we did, this is what you did, and you start from that basis.
Ryan Wood joining us on the Mason Crosby Show. Brian Daboll let go from the Giants. What was your reaction when you heard that news?
Yeah, when are you going to, in this league, find some consistency between young quarterbacks and play callers and head coaches, right? That can't be good for Jackson Dart. It's not surprising, of course, because this is what the league does. If you don't win games, the head coach is out. But it can't be good for Jackson Dart. It can't be good for a young quarterback. Same thing in Tennessee. And I'm not saying that situation was good, but you bring in a young quarterback, you build in the entire first offseason, everything around this guy in the offense, and then you essentially scrap it all. And this young guy starts from scratch again. That's tough. So it's not a surprise because the Giants simply didn't win enough games, but I also don't see how it's good for a young quarterback to go through that.
No, that's a great point. I totally agree. I'm like, why in the world don't you get the head coach and that new quarterback or that star player you bring in and at least give them 2 or 3 years to figure it out? I mean, 2 years. NFL now is probably 2 years. But yeah, it makes no sense.
And it seemed like even in losses, they were playing well. There was a good vibe with the Giants. I know like this week was a bad loss, but it was because he got a concussion. Like they would have won that game.
Yeah, losing two games like they have, or a few games. I think they've had a few comebacks. The Denver game, that Chicago Bears game. I mean, it's that just, I think, speaks from an ownership from the up top. They're just saying this team doesn't have what it takes under Daboll to finish games and to hold on to these victories. We got to find something new here.
The Packers are obviously the model within the NFL of transitioning franchise quarterback to franchise quarterback. They've earned that. The most important element to that model is, of course, Aaron Rodgers had 3 years to sit and learn. Jordan Love had 3 years to sit and learn. But look at what those 3 years look like. Aaron Rodgers had multiple years not just to sit and learn, but with Mike McCarthy. Yep. Jordan Love had multiple years to sit and learn with Matt LaFleur. They were able to marinate in that offense so that when they did take over, they knew that offense inside and out in a way that you don't exactly expect for a first-year starting quarterback to be able to be at that level in acumen. And so patience is so important in this league, and I get that patience is hard because it's a win-now league for everybody, but the best teams are the teams that don't overreact. The best teams are the teams that stay consistent in their process. Sometimes, the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? How many times have their fans been infuriated by, you can't make a run in the playoffs? But would you rather take a team that is consistently there or a team like the Cleveland Browns that gives you more ups and downs than a roller coaster, right? The best teams, patience can be hard, but it's one of the most priceless commodities for NFL franchises.
Oh man, Ryan, I really appreciate you. Before we let you go, what's your prediction for the game tonight?
You know what? I'm taking the Eagles. The Eagles lose. I'm taking the Packers. My gut says Eagles. My head says Eagles, especially because of the way the Packers have played. But it just seems like this is a team that gets up for its big opponents. I think that being at home at night is a significant edge. If this was at Monday Night Football in Philadelphia, it'd be an entirely different story. I think the Packers are going to come out and respond to that. In some ways, my bigger question is if they do win tonight, what happens next week against New York, right? Yeah. Even with all that they have going on, what happens when you can't play down to an opponent? I almost trust this team to play up to an opponent better than playing down to an opponent. So I'm taking the Packers to win, even though I certainly won't be surprised if the Eagles do.
All right. I think that's fair.
Yep. Appreciate you, Ryan.
Ryan, thank you so much for jumping on today, and enjoy the game. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
You bet. That's Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. And I think he said it at the very end there, Mason, exactly how we think, right? Yeah. The Packers play down to their opponents. They've played up to their opponents. Nothing would surprise us at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's wild when you look at this season. Their two losses are to the Browns and the Carolina Panthers. It's it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and one of those being at home. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they win and find a way to play up to the hype and what this game is going to be. But they got to find some consistency in that week-to-week process there for sure.
Let's wrap up the weekend. When we come back, take a wild look at the NFL and NCAA football, what happened on the gridiron this weekend. And we got to get Mason's story about his car. We're on pins and needles. I can't wait to hear it.
It's probably not as exciting as you're teeing it up. No, it's more of an intro, fun introspection into the NFL and fandom. So nice. I'll just give you a little tidbit there.
All right, looking forward to that. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. My name's Mitch Nelson, aka Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mace, I got to assume this is your favorite song.
Favorite all time.
Yeah, favorite all time, right? For those of you on watching on YouTube or Twitter, we're listening to Todd Rundgren bang the drum all day, which you
always a fun time in Lambeau,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Always a fun time.
Exactly. That's what I figured as we get ready for the game tonight. Also getting ready for the game tonight, Mason. I don't know if you saw this or not. There is the tribute to it's the tribute to the service game.
Yeah.
So there's 5 Gold Star families that are going to be honored.
Wow, awesome.
There's really cool events going on before and during the game. And that's always a special occasion, right?
Yeah, especially on the eve of Veterans Day. It's going to be awesome just to have those families honored. And then you're not going to want to miss our show tomorrow. We're obviously going to be talking a lot of recap of this Packers Eagles game, but we will be honoring veterans, and we're going to have 3 on the show, Tommy? Is that right?
We have a pretty awesome slate tomorrow. We're going to have, first of all, our good friends at Verizon. They always do a lot of great work with veterans in all over the country, but specifically in our Great Lakes region. We're going to have a Racine native on just to give the common man, his appreciation for their service and what they do as veterans. We're also going to have a couple of big high-profile sports guests. We have Air Force head coach Troy Calhoun joining the show tomorrow as well. And Green Beret, former NFL Seattle Seahawks long snapper and University of Texas long snapper Nate Boyer on tomorrow as well.
Let's go.
So it's an awesome show in which we're going to talk a bunch of Packers, Eagles, but also some things a little bigger than football, right? And Veterans Day popping up. Wanted to give that platform out to some of those veterans in sports and veterans in our community.
Good work, Tommy.
Yeah, and of course, programming note, Mitch Thunder Nellis will not be on the show tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Albrecht decided to go to Disney. So it's not Trevor and Josh in the morning. It's Trevor and Thunder in the morning. So I'll be on from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I'm just thrilled to peaches about being on at 6 in the morning.
Mason, how many times have you been to Disney, Land or World?
Well, I've been a ton, but with my kids, probably 3 or 4.
3 or 4 times. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, those are rookie numbers for Josh Albrecht.
He's just an all-time
3 or 4
Disney.
a year.
Holy cow.
He had brought up that he says it's over 20 times he's been with his
wife.
Is it
like Vegas? Do you start getting comped, or do you still have to pay? Because it's so expensive to go
definitely deals.
to Disney World.
I think there's definitely deals when you go that often.
Yeah, return visitors.
How often does it change? It's the same
That's kind of true, right?
Also, right?
You go different times a year. Like out here in Tennessee, you have Dollywood. And they have fall festival, winter, Christmas stuff. There are some pretty fun things, but yes, if you've done all of them one time, I'm how many different options can you have at that point?
I don't know.
If you stay at the same hotel, same resort all the time, right?
Exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah,
that is incredible. That's good stuff. Hey, you're a good guy, Mitch, for filling in there.
Yeah, I'm just team. Hashtag team.
It's the Mason Crosby show all week on the morning show because when Mitch is done, Tommy switches and he's on there on Thursday.
I'm doing Tuesday and Wednesday, and Tommy's doing Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. So
where's everybody else?
I will not be doing that 6 to 9 show. I'm sorry.
Where's everybody else? Neil writes in on YouTube real quick. Philly fan here. How we feeling tonight? Mace, how you feeling tonight?
I feel like it's going to be a fun one. I actually just hit somebody up. I'm trying to get my viewing figured out because I do have YouTube TV. So I'm like, gosh, do I really get a subscription to something else just to watch this game, or do I go somewhere to watch? I do have 8-year-old basketball, so I'll be coaching until about 7:00 right before the game starts. But
can I make? I have one suggestion. I don't know if we're allowed to share different apps and stuff like that. I believe Fubo has.
Yeah, I saw some options,
and you can get a free 5-day.
There we go. Yeah, find that. I mean, I could. It's so bad too because YouTube TV doesn't have local channels. So I mean, if I just have ABC, I probably could find the local ABC channel and do that. So maybe I can just get an antenna. Yeah, I did see something where I can just tap into local channels.
Wow, an antenna.
Go old school.
Man.
It's always ESPN's fault, but YouTube TV, figure it out.
Right.
All right. I understand it's ESPN's fault, but YouTube TV, be the bigger man, be the lesser man, whatever kind of man you have to be, figure it out.
Yeah,
I don't know. I got a buddy the other night, Nick Holtz. He's offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans currently. Who knows what's going to happen there? But they came over to the house. I think I've told y'all he was my college teammate, my holder for 4 years there at Colorado, and so he had I think he had like Hulu Live TV app, so we weren't able to watch a couple games that were on ESPN. I think it was the LSU game, Alabama game. So he would, so I might even hit him up. I'll just say, hey, can I borrow your account information for the night? Maybe never give it back. So just tap into that forever.
I don't know how much you got a chance over the weekend, Mason, to check out some of the results. Unbelievable catch by Indiana to beat Penn State.
Oh, that was wild. That was wild.
Tommy, we were talking about that earlier, right?
Unbelievable catch. What was it? Remember when we were talking about the Garrett Wilson catch last year that we both were all of us were kind of underwhelmed and people were like calling it catch of the century or whatever. That catch is the most impressive catch we have seen since this show is.
It's the body lean, right? Like his body, like his upper body was like 3 yards out of bounds, and he just like dropped his legs down, like so impressive.
Yeah, that was awesome. Shout out to the production crew, like the camera work, phenomenal on that, because that's a play that sometimes in the past we don't have that angle, but I don't know how his foot didn't hit the ground and the other one did hit the ground. Not a catch on Sundays, but damn impressive on a Saturday.
There's it makes me think back to like old NFL rules that were ridiculous. Do you remember the old out of bounds rule that they would call you in if they felt like the defender pushed you?
Force out.
The force out rule. Like, how was that ever a thing where it was like you hit a guy in the air? If you didn't hit him and he could have, they judged if they thought he could get his feet down, they would give them the catch, right? Which is insanity that used to be a rule.
How many stats in sports history are just wrong? Like now that replay is a thing. Like just in the history of in all of sports, like how many stats are wrong? Because there's got to be a handful of touchdowns here and yards there and wherever it is. But I mean, how many stats are just wrong?
Well, now that we're on this, like the blunder and the Colts end up winning, Jonathan Taylor had a day. But did you see that? Were y'all watching that game? And I think it was early in the game. It was a third and 6. Jonathan Taylor takes it up the middle, clearly does not go down, kind of falls on top of a defender, goes across the line, and the side judge comes running in and marks him 2 yards short of the spot to gain and saying his knee went down. They show replays, they show all this stuff, and it's like at no point was he even close to the ground. Got the first down easy. They go for it on fourth. Don't get the fourth down play. They didn't review it. They didn't look at it. I'm like, so if you play overseas, do they not have the eye in the sky stuff?
Exactly.
Because I thought that was supposed to overcome like stupidity that stuff, by the refs. Yeah, by the refs in those moments. That was a blatant one I saw this weekend.
Some other college football results of interest, of course, Mason, not you, but your family. Texas Tech with a big win. I'm sure you have some family members who are very happy about that.
Yeah. I don't talk to my brother about that because I just don't want him to feel kind of high and
good
mighty
about himself.
That they're playing well. So I don't even ask him like how he feels about it.
And did you catch Oregon, Iowa at all? And did you have any rooting interest there?
I saw pieces of it. I was torn on who I wanted to win there. Like I feel like I don't like Iowa all that much.
It's fair.
Just being in Wisconsin and just some of those things. Like I feel like when I see Iowa, I'm like, gosh, I just kind of want them to lose. But yeah, it was a fun one to watch. I always like Oregon's uniforms.
Of course.
I mean, they always bring it in the fit game for sure.
I don't like Iowa at all, and I found myself cheering for Iowa in this one, like just kind of as an underdog. Like maybe they could pull it off, and then they went ahead late. Like I like underdogs, and I like chaos. Exactly.
I mean, there is something also that new Big Ten always root against new Big Ten.
There is something
That's
there.
A good point. Like you can't root for this West Coast teams to come into the Big Ten and then just dominate it for as long as possible.
That's a good point, Tommy.
So I think that there is something to be said about always rooting against USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon, and you name it. Is that the 4, right? So
I think that's probably right.
Yeah. Always root against them. It is not a Big Ten victory if those guys just come in and go out and dominate.
Well, and it just feels weird, like seeing like this is a Big Ten matchup, Oregon at Iowa. Like it's like
Wisconsin and Washington. That was a nice another thing about that win is that we're the real UW.
What's up?
You want some Washington? Come get some.
You wash.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are. You washed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right. When we come back, any other observations over the weekend, or should we get to Mason's extra points in the car story that we've been building up? That is now going to be the most epic story of all time.
Yeah, we're just talking a little fandom and like how those fan allegiances run deep, even in getting your car fixed. So yeah. It's an interesting one, but I run into this all the time. So I would love to like just kind of speak into it and then like hear some thoughts on maybe some more stories where you've had this same interaction with somebody.
Nice. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is in the house. My name is Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mason's extra points are next.
Yes.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Nobody knows.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, fellas, good start to this week. It is Monday. It is game day. We are preparing for this Eagles versus Packers game.
Let's go.
I'm going to figure out how to watch it. Just the struggle is real. But I do want to talk about something that is just – I want to talk about fandom in general and, like, how extreme it can get. So this one's pretty funny. Molly had a little accident on the road a while back. It was not her fault, obviously, by any means. Like a trailer tire blew off, went under her car, busted just some of the sensors and some of the things on her
scary
vehicle. So we take it in, and we're getting it worked on. So I get a message from the dealership, from the collision place, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, we'll get this thing going." And he goes, "Despite being a lifelong Chicago Bears fan, I'll try to get your car back to you as soon as we can."
Love it. Love it.
He like kind of jokingly gave me like this, like it's like a long time from now that it's going to be. I'm like, dude, are you like holding this thing ransom? Like just kind of out of spite. And so I responded back. I said, well, I'm sorry about your fandom, but at least you have something to cheer about this year and your team's not a dumpster fire. So, this happens to me all the time. Like anywhere I go, like it's people come to do, repair something at the house, or I'm out somewhere and they realize who I am and what, that I played for the Packers, and they just have to share their fandom and their story. Like in this setting, I'm like, I don't care, but I'm just also like, it's not real professional. Like it's like you're working on my car.
It's still fun.
It was fun.
It's fun.
Like y'all are okay with it. Y'all are okay with like the
Mason. Remember last Thanksgiving when the Thunder family met you and Molly out for a beverage on our way back from Tennessee to Wisconsin, and our waitress was literally from Appleton.
Yeah, she was in Appleton.
And she was like totally fangirling. She was like, she didn't pull the whole, wait, you look like Mason Crosby, and you'd have been like, oh, I get that all the time. No. We were like, but that was great. Like I'm sure that happens too.
I always get the question. It's like someone's like staring at you a little awkwardly, and it's like, are you? I think you are. And I'm like, that is a weird. Like, I don't know what you're thinking.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm thinking.
Yes,
right
I am,
now.
Ryan
So,
Reynolds. Yes, I am.
I know. Sometimes they'll lean into that, right? Like it's just like, oh yes, I am this. This other person.
The weird one was when we were at Pato, and someone just was like, "Can I just take a picture of you?" Like,
when we were at dinner,
like
so
that's
awkward.
way
Not
weirder.
with you, but
just like as you're with your calamari in front of you,
smile awkwardly.
I would love a photo of you. Like, I don't. That's the one that I think is actually weirder. Like anyone asking to take a picture with you wherever it is, like, okay, I get it, but just to be like, can I just take your picture and then have it? That's a little weird.
Just an odd one for sure.
Mason, some other NFL news. We talked about Brian Dable being let go. Joe Burrow back at practice, opening his 21-day window for the Bengals. And
do you think they'll play him or they'll keep Flacco? I'm just kidding. Obviously, if he's back,
they'll play him. But the question is, how relevant do they remain? And remember 3-4 weeks ago when the Steelers were running away with that division, and now Baltimore's one game out.
Here come the Ravens.
Yeah,
right?
the Ravens are legit. Huh?
Who picked the Vikings in that game?
Was that me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, and they had chances. They got it down to one possession.
They started the game. Yeah, they played the game.
Relax.
Gosh, there was no shot in that one. Why do you love JJ McCarthy and Michigan quarterbacks?
He's my favorite.
Tom Brady. I mean, you are a Michigan quarterback guy.
All right, I like Aaron Jones. Relax, okay?
Okay.
I thought you liked Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I can be on board with
Marquette with a rough loss over the weekend.
Yeah, what happened there?
I think they might not be good.
You don't think they're going to be
good? They're
good?
not as good as they were last year, at least.
Yeah. I mean,
Wisconsin's good, right?
Wisconsin is good. They stay at 24th.
Okay.
The new rankings just came out. They stay at 24th, so they're still there. They host Ball State tomorrow night. Wednesday night, Marquette hosts Arkansas Little Rock, and the Bucks. We didn't talk about the Bucks today.
Yeah.
And I know we should give them. We got a couple minutes here.
Yeah,
Bucks
what's
are
going
at
on?
the Mavericks tonight. Big win Friday night. Way to hold off the Bulls. But then yesterday, leading pretty much the whole game and really faltered at the end. Houston turned it on. First of all, Houston's really good. So
Houston's good.
Let's get that out of the way. That it wasn't a schlub team. Houston is really good.
But it looked like the Bucks had some control at a moment in that game, yes. Right? Like, and then what was their free throw shooting? Giannis went 7 of 7 to start, and then made 2 of his last 10 or something.
I know he missed 3 out of 4 in the last minute, basically, and that hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, in this situation, this scenario, you'd rather beat the Bulls and lose to the Rockets, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. Well, because the Bulls game was a cup game. Yeah. So that changes the whole scenario.
You said it. I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah, I mean, they got so hyped for the cup game that you knew there was gonna be a letdown.
Yeah.
After that game. I mean,
they win games that matter. Right?
They're playing for a cup. Who cares about anything else?
With all that said, and I know Tommy mentioned this to me earlier today. Tommy, what was your Giannis stat that you had earlier today before the show? You shared with me about his points per minute or something.
Yeah, Giannis currently is averaging 1.04 points per minute. That is the same points per minute that Wilt Chamberlain averaged in 1962 when he dropped 50 points a game.
Yeah. Now, Wilt Chamberlain played all 48 minutes back then, so he was dropping 50 points in 48 minutes.
That's wild.
But even yesterday, Giannis, 37 points in 36 minutes. Ryan Rollins is really turning into something, but they need a little bit more. I know Bobby and Kyle and Cole Anthony. I mean, they had a number of guys in double digits. Taurean Prince out indefinitely. He's got a herniated disc in his neck.
He was playing well too.
Yeah, and so they really, between Amir Coffey and Kyle Kuzma, they're the only 2 guys between 6'6" and 6'9". Yeah. So it's either all shortish guys or Bobby and Giannis and Miles.
What do you think of Miles so far?
Good, not great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little underwhelmed on his rebounding and kind of his tenacity around the rim. I love that word, tenacity.
We used to say the same about Brook Lopez.
It's true,
doesn't get a board, and he's Brook 7 feet tall.
Except that Brook Lopez cleared rebounds for everyone else. I'm not sure Miles does it the same way. We just need to see a little more athleticism from him. I think what I'm worried about
is a little more grit and grime, where it's you're going to do tough. Because last night, is it
Şengün?
Yes, Şengün. I mean, that guy just battles, right? He just battles for every ball. I mean, I think he had 14 rebounds. I mean, it's just I just want to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll talk more about that this week. I'm off the Mason Crosby show the next 2 days because I'm on the morning show, but you guys will hold it down. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Go, Pack, go. 7:15. If you don't have YouTube TV, figure it out, people. The Packers are on TV.
Go, Pack, go. Let's get it.
I was